Hey folks, this is Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking. In this video, I'm going to try to finish up the last couple changes I did to this bike for my Enduro racing. Once again, folks, thanks for tuning in to Regular Guy Mountain Biking. My name's Gene, and I'm going to finish up in the last couple things I did to my bike to get it ready for Enduro racing. So let's kind of hover over to the bike, and I'll show you what I made, the changes I made on the bike. Okay, let's go take a look. One thing I want to cover is just the geometry I have set up on this bike right now. This isn't a modification that I bought or did anything with, but this bike has the ability to change with this little section right over here, this little dial, whether the body is more slack or not. Notice there's a little section over here that says, I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I'll put some details on it, but basically it'll help you slacken the bike or not, depending on the kind of riding you want. I have it set up so that the bottom bracket is low as possible and the bike is more slack. And you do that by loosening this little guy here and twisting it around. So I did make that change. There's another change right inside of here that you can't see, but I'll put a picture up on a couple pictures right now of what I've done. I used something called an offset bushing. The offset bushing allowed me to get just a micro amount of extra slackness out of the bike. It's one of those things where that alone probably wouldn't do a lot of difference, but you add that up with the other changes in the bike and it's all good. Okay, so there's an offset bushing in there that I put in this shock to give me just a little bit more slack. Something else that's been changed on this bike, see if I can get a good angle here. Something else that's been changed on this bike, if you notice, right here, I'll see if you can kind of see this. If you can't, I'm just going to tell you what it is. This says 130 and this says 140 millimeters. The bike came out of the box at 140 millimeters, but notice this space over here. That's because I got the fork lengthened to 150 millimeters. Again, I'm not sure if you can really see the numbers all that well, but just trust me, this is 150. As I talk to more people that are using all mountain bikes, most folks are running at least a 160, maybe even a 170. My buddy Shane's, his Trek Slash, that came with a 160 millimeter fork. Just that extra, give there is pretty helpful. So I don't know what I'll do if I'm going to change this or not. That's a pretty expensive upgrade. Getting it upgraded from 140 to 150 was not a big deal. They just sell a new guts for the leg. The stanchion's actually the same for a 140 and a 150. I guess a 130, 140, and 150. I'll check if a 160 is the same. I don't think it is, but I'll find out. But anyway, that was another change I made. I got the fork an extra 10 millimeters. I do feel a difference with that. I do like that. Another change that was done was to the stem and the bars. Okay, the stem was switched out for a 35 millimeter stem. That really brought the bike in close to me. It kind of tightened the cockpit up a little bit, and the riser bars kind of helped me a little bit as well. But what that allowed me to do is when I'm sitting on the bike, look, half the time I'm scared out of my mind and my ass is way back here and I'm just kind of like dangling off the back. I know it's not the best position for control, but for me just to kind of stay safe down some of the rocks. Look, I was nervous, I'm not going to lie to you. Having this more back was nice, so there wasn't quite as much pressure on the front. I didn't feel like I was going to go over the bars quite as much. That also seems to be the case for a lot of the bikes. They have a shorter stem here for like Enduro and downhill. This worked well for me. I liked it. Whether I'll change this for other kind of riding, I don't know. It actually worked pretty good for cross country as well. As I promised, after my next race, I promise I will do a complete product overview on how all these things work. Which ones worked better, which ones didn't. Honestly, everything's working pretty good so far in my testing, but I don't want to just do these quick and just give you a quick review and not really truly test if this stuff is good or not. Okay, so I did change the stem out and the bars. Those are really most of the changes I did to the bike. I do like to ride I do like to ride flats, but I wouldn't say that's a change for this race, because I like flats. Right now I'm riding the Crank Brother 50/50s. These seem to be working pretty well. If you take a look at the pins over here, you can see that I am definitely, I gotta get them replaced. I'm beating the crap out of them. But that just means they're doing their job, right? So I do like my flats. That's how I like to ride. So I wouldn't say that's a change I made for this type of riding. That's what I like to ride. That's probably about it, right? I mean, I like to ride a dropper C post, but big surprise, most people do nowadays anyway. I didn't really do too much more besides what I'm showing you. Oh, wait, one last thing. I'm sorry. I forgot. I did get downhill Spec tires, all right? The Maxxis Minions. These are 2.5s. Can you see it over there? 27.5 by 2.5. These things are awesome. They just kind of roll over shit. You can just feel them kind of go, like a mumble over things. It's boom, 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 boom. It's awesome. These are kick-ass tires. They're certainly a little bit more aggressive than what I need for cross country, but even with cross country over here in Way Yonder, it's pretty much a rock garden fest. So these are awesome, even here in Way Yonder. These tires have been freaking awesome. I got them on the front and the back, and I really like them. So I almost forgot to talk about that, and that would have been dumb. So that's pretty much going to do it. Okay, so that's basically what I did to the bike. You add that all up, and that gave me a pretty nice spec enduro bike. The thing is, the first enduro race I did, I would say was a lot more downhill oriented. The one I have coming up that Manny, one of the viewers over to YouTube, is going to hopefully be there and kind of help support me. So please show up. I need the support. That one's completely different. It's got a 10-mile segment in it. I don't really know. So, like I said, I'll do a recap on how all these things worked out soon. But that's all I got. All right, so that's what I did to the bike. I hope you liked it. Ask any questions you want. I'll be happy to answer them the best that I can. And there you go. All right, Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you later on. Have a good one. Bye.